Well, hello. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. It is Friday. We're coming to you today. Kaiser's out for a walk. I'm here by myself in the studio to talk to you about a few things. I apologize for the lack of a report yesterday. We got kind of busy out here, and I just didn't have time. We had a huge dinner party to prepare for last night, and which went off wonderfully with some very good friends of ours, and we utilized the French Magnolia people to come in and cater that, and they did a wonderful job. So if you need someone to come to your venue and set something up that you were going to be pleased with, give them a call there at French Magnolia. We'll probably give a little commercial here before too long on them, probably beginning of next week, so we'll supply you with all the phone number information. And, of course, in the comments below, you can always leave a request for anything that you might see here as far as getting in touch with these people, whether it's Lazy J Butchers or Lazy J Farms or French Magnolia. We're here to supply that information to you. So I guess there's a whole lot going on financially. The stock market has been up and down a little bit. If you're following that, it turned out after the news release that the tariffs had not affected in any way, shape, or form the performance or the lack of the crash that they were foretelling you was going to happen. And this comes mostly from the left and the left media propaganda they put out from time to time. But it has not affected anyone. The consumer price index and everything else is going along just fine. There is no recession looming in the future, and there has been no increase at all with regard to inflation that Jay Powell is so worried about. Well, it hasn't come to fruition, and too late, as he's been called by Donald Trump. We'll have to learn how that works. You would think that the head of the Fed, the chair, would know these things, but we'd have to listen to Larry Kudlow to find out what's really going on. Which brings us to New York City. You know, everyone wants to know, is New York City safe? Well, according to Beaver Teeth Hochul, it's the safest city in the world. Well, that is debatable. There's a lot going on there right now with crime in the streets. It's very reminiscent. If you had the opportunity to visit New York in the 70s, it's very reminiscent to me of that time before Giuliani and several other mayors had tried to clean it up. Giuliani did a great job in New York bringing it around. If you look at the morons that are trying to run for mayor of that city right now, to socialize the city of New York, do away with the police department and install social workers in place of them and the like, it'll just get worse and worse. There is no doubt in my mind that that is going to be a major problem that will have to be dealt with. But let's take a look here and see just how safe it is right here.
We have a brand. New York has a brand.
I want to change the psychology around crime in New York City because we are the safest big city in America.
Right.
I want people on the subways. It is safe, but I'm going to make sure people feel safe.
Governor Kathy Hochul says the subway is getting safer. Riding the 7 train, she told reporters that riders should notice a difference.
You understand why people might feel vulnerable at night, which is why you made changes.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Because these are people, they may have had a long shift at the hospital. They're working at night, and they deserve to feel first rate experience. They need to be secure, feel safe.
Man stabbed in the head while riding the one train today.
And Fox 5's Lisa Evers is live from the West 145th Street station in Hamilton Heights. That is where this vicious attack happened. Lisa, so many people taking this train on their way to work.
Yes, definitely, Bianca and Steve. Right now, that 56-year-old victim is fighting to survive this terrible attack, a knife attack, stabbed in the head over a subway seat here on the number 1 train. Police have a 20-year-old man in custody.
Did you see that?
Terrible attack, a knife attack, stabbed in the head over a subway seat here on the number 1 train. Police have a 20-year-old man.
Don't you think that's funny?
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Now, the NYPD is telling us that this disturbing incident happened about 6 a.m. inside a subway car in a southbound number 1 train as it was pulling into the 145th Street station. Sources close to the investigation tell me the 20-year-old man approached the 56-year-old victim who was sleeping and jostled him to wake him up and get a seat. Words were exchanged and the 20-year-old man pulled a knife, plunging it into the victim's head.
This is the reason why I don't take the subway. I mean, it's just too much.
I want people on the subways. It is safe.
Sometimes people get a little beside themselves. They look at you wrong and there it goes. I don't have time for that. There's too much going on.
There is a lot of crazy mental instability in this city, and I don't know what the city is going to do about that.
Because we are the safest big city in America.
I feel like it's not getting better. I mean, they just installed like these new gates to keep people from pushing people onto the tracks, but I think it was just a waste of money because people, if they want to push you, they're going to unfortunately push you.
Now, my sources with direct knowledge of the investigation tell me that this 20-year-old suspect allegedly stabbed his own mother within the last week.
Think about that.
As for crime here in the subway, officials have been telling us for months that it's been going down, but the latest statistics show that felony assaults, which includes knife attacks like this, are slightly up.
I want people on the subways. It is safe, but I'm going to make sure people feel safe.
Looks fine to me.
I would be concerned about riding the subway after a shift that gets out at midnight, whether you're a nurse, firefighter, police officer, or the like. You know, the guardian angels had to come in and work to clean things up for the longest time there during the worst times that took place. And Curtis Sliwa is running now for mayor, and in my mind is probably one of the only viable candidates that is on the ticket right now to bring New York City back to any kind of a place where you want to go and spend a lot of time walking around and seeing the beautiful things that you can do in New York, from Central Park to theater to restaurants that are fabulous restaurants that some survived the COVID lockdown in New York under the guise of Cuomo, who now wants to be mayor of New York City after being governor of the state. By the way, a disgraced governor of the city of New York, or the state of New York, now wants to run the city of New York City. Not going to happen. All he's going to do is siphon off votes from whoever else is on the ticket. Hopefully he'll take the votes away from Mondavi, but we'll see a little more about that later. Meanwhile, on the presidential hopeful candidates that are coming up, they're announcing now that the front runner is Kamala Harris. Well, I have to ask you a question, and I would just love for someone to explain to me where she was when she was vice president of these United States, while she had a doddering old fool that let bureaucrats, unelected bureaucrats, run this country, make decisions that were run by an auto pen. And yeah, he can come out and say, that he authorized it. That's a crock of bull, and we know that now. But you have to ask yourself, where was the vice president when all this was happening? We didn't see her out and about anywhere during that whole time. And if you remember seeing her accomplish anything or going anywhere to help with meeting people, I would really seriously wonder, was she just partying away the whole time? Did she meet with the president? Did she have anything to do with maybe correcting the fact that unelected bureaucrats were making decisions on behalf of us? We don't know who these people were. We don't know what kind of decisions were being made. We don't know a lot about the entire Biden-Harris administration. But Harris was among the missing for the longest time. There's no doubt about that. We haven't seen her. She hadn't been engaged in anything until they magically whipped her up to be a candidate to replace Joe Biden and run against Donald Trump in this last election. She spent 3 times the money that the Trump campaign spent and still managed to lose an election. And now the Democrats, in their little civil war that's going on amongst them, are going to say that she's going to be the front runner in all of this. I highly doubt that she is electable. And the rest of them, like Tim Walz, are out there trying to be viable as a candidate. AOC, oh my God. She is so socialistic that she is backing this Mondavi character to the hilt. But let's take a look at Tampon Timmy here one time.
I would also make the case that Minnesota's economy being the 5th most diverse in the country, we literally do not have all our eggs in one basket. We do raise a lot of eggs.
We do raise a lot of eggs.
You're goofy. There's going to be a massive amount of work just to implement the bill that was passed. And I think you keep in mind the number we have is somewhere around $1.2 billion in lost Medicaid dollars, plus the number of people who drop up. And you hear the highlights on biotech, ag tech, but there's so much more in high-tech manufacturing. And then as we think to the future, whether it's be chip manufacturing.
That grammar, sheesh.
I find it incredibly rich that the members of Congress who drugged me there and then screamed about things that weren't about immigration at me are the ones that just cost us $150 million in operational costs for a bill that they voted for. So I agree with the public. It's absolutely outrageous, but I think people need to know it's a very unique situation.
That's an interesting pronunciation.
He wants to be the president of the United States of America. Can you even imagine what that would be like? Oh, not good. But anyway, that brings us to late night TV. I see that you all are going to be shocked by this, but CBS is canceling Stephen Colbert. I wonder why. Could it be the Trump derangement syndrome that he suffers from? His entire show is nothing about anything to do with reality. It's all about how to hate the president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. This is all he's about. He used to be, years ago, somewhat funny, but there is no funniness now in this guy's repertoire to make you laugh. It certainly doesn't make me laugh. I think it's very sad that he had to hang his hat on just running down Donald Trump. To be viable in late night TV hasn't been good on any of these legacy channels at all for years. Not since, well, maybe Jay Leno did a little bit better job than some of them, but after Johnny Carson left the airways, late night TV has been a lousy joke. You can bring celebrities on to tell their interesting stories and make you feel like that they command your respect. Just look at and listen to what they have to say when they get on the soapbox about anti-government this and anti-Trump that. It's not fun. It's not funny. There's no amusement there to be had. But we'll see. So Colbert, Stephen Colbert is being canceled. I guess he has to finish this season, which will end next May. And he'll blame everybody under the sun for his departure. He announced it last night, I guess. The audience is dwindling. I believe that the new parent from CBS really looked at the ratings, which is, if you look at CNN, MSNBC, and the legacy channels, CBS, NBC, ABC, their numbers are not there. So that means the advertisers are not there. And if it wasn't for pharmaceutical companies and the like, you wouldn't have legacy TV. Every 15 minutes or 10 minutes, they run commercials, so you have a hard time seeing your programs that you tune in for, including their news programs. And Fox is included in this. There are far too many commercials. There are far too many pharmaceutical commercials on the TV anymore, making you ask your doctor for this. Tell your doctor you need this. Tell your doctor this. Ask your doctor that. It's junk that they're pushing out, and too many people are on too many medications, in my estimation, and that's part of a problem that we have. And I think and hope that RFK Jr. will get into this advertising by pharmaceutical companies and push them back into going with detail people one more time. Give them a car and a bag and have them educate doctors personally. Not you, who are incapable in some cases of discerning what medications mix with other educations. Unless you have a pharmacology education, you're not making correct decisions there. And most doctors now will go along with what you ask for fear of upsetting the pharmaceutical companies. We're the only country in the world that allows pharmaceutical companies to advertise on your TVs. Well, it's very interesting, going back to the New York City deal, that the coalition of Democratic lawmakers and congressional people that are coming out to back this communist, Commie Mondavi, in New York City. They don't see that there's a problem with socialism. He's not a communist. He's not socialistic. Let's really stop and think. What he says, he tells on himself. We know what's going to happen if he's elected in New York. He is a communist. He's a socialistic thinker, a trust fund baby that has never accomplished anything in his life. And now he wants to defund the police and put social workers out in their place. And he wants to make everything free for all the wrong people in a city the size of New York City. And the possibility of him getting elected by silly thinking people is highly possible. I never thought I'd be around to see it, but it's there. But you look at Tim Walz's communistic views, you look at Bernie Sanders' communistic views, AOC's communistic views. Socialism is trying to break through the Constitution here. How much more do you need to see in your sitting Congress people that are socialistic driven? To what end? We don't know. But you look at Ilhan Omar, you look at this Jayapal and Tlaib and people of that nature, these people are socialists. They want freebies for everybody, and they want you to pay for it. And this is what we're going to let happen. If this guy gets into New York City, it will set a precedent for the rest of these wrong-thinking blue states to continue ripping the working population off and making you pay for people who want to sit on substance programs that keep them fat and happy. Well, let's take a look at some of the Democratic congressional backing for this moron right here.
And, the overall impression on me was this guy is not a communist. He's not a socialist. He's an advocate for small C capitalism. And that, he really is fighting for the little business guy that's trying to eke out a living in New York. Half of all New Yorkers, get their jobs from small business. This guy is not a communist. He's not a socialist.
You sure about that?
All right. You are a self-described democratic socialist. Do you think that billionaires have a right to exist?
I don't think that we should have billionaires because, frankly, it is so much money in a moment of such inequality.
This guy is not a communist. He's not a socialist.
And I think ultimately the definition for me of why I call myself a democratic socialist is the words of Dr. King decades ago. He said, call it democracy or call it democratic socialism. There must be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country.
So, you admit it? Yeah. Guilty as charged.
He's an advocate for small C capitalism. And that, he really is fighting for the little business guy.
Do you like capitalism?
No, I have many critiques of capitalism.
Over here, fantastic. Zoran Mamdani is an incredible talent. He is going to be a great mayor for New York City. I was proud to endorse him before the primary, and he is so smart, so authentic.
He is so smart, so authentic.
Are you shitting me?
And a new controversy. Jennifer Bizram reports Zoran Mamdani's past is being questioned.
33-year-old Democratic nominee who identifies as a Muslim immigrant from South Asian descent is coming under fire for a label he claimed as a high school senior applying for college. According to internal data from a hack of Columbia University, the New York Times obtained, Mamdani, who was born in Uganda, checked a box that he was Asian, but also checked the box for Black or African American on his Columbia University application during a time when elite colleges factored in race in the admissions process.
Tell them, McCluskey. Tell them what time it is.
I don't believe you people.
Huh. What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Huh?
It will be the death of New York City. And I don't know if even just one term of him being in there will be able to be salvaged afterwards. But if you vote that way, then you deserve what you get. And there's a city that will suffer not only in tourism, but in banking, the financial districts. They'll have to move out of that city under his tutelage. And with that, we're going to take a little exit here into Stupid Town to show you some of the nonsense that equals stupidity. So let's exit right here.
I got you.
Want to know why women are pissed? We're pissed because we can't even walk in 96-degree weather. We can't even walk around like this without getting catcalled and or stared at and or honked at. There's nothing about this look that is inviting any of that. It's literally 96 degrees. What do you expect me to wear? What do you expect me to wear? I need to only be wearing this. There's no more clothing that I physically can wear without putting myself at risk for literally fainting. And some dudes driving around think that this is an invitation for them to honk at me, yell things out their windows, and or roll down their windows and make sounds. So PSA, I feel confident speaking for all the women when I say, stop doing that. Okay, stop. Literally stop. You're gross. You're creepy.
How do you decide when you're going to issue a dissent?
You know, I dissent, well, first of all, there are 9 justices on the court. You know, in a case that you know, my parents gave to me a sense of my own ability to write and to speak out and to say what I have to say.
What advice would you give your younger self? What book are you reading right now? And what's your favorite song? What keeps you up at night?
Oh.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in this context.
So
I'm not a biologist.
We all saw the kind of justice she'll be. Thoughtful, precise, brilliant.
Stupid people, these people have power.
In September 2024, he and his family launched
World Liberty Financial, a crypto trading platform. So days before the inauguration.
That's easy for you to say.
No one should be surprised that these same Republicans' next order of business is to validate, legitimize, and endorse the Trump family's corruption and efforts to sell the White House to the highest bidder.
Wait, what?
And efforts to sell the White House to the highest bidder.
It's gone. It's very sad for the family.
Well, that's our visit to Stupid Town today, and because we're facing a great weekend here, and we all are looking forward to a nice weekend, especially here in East Tennessee. The weather is cooperative. It's very hot, but it's summertime, and don't forget that. So we wish you all a very happy and healthy weekend that we're facing. And remember to pray every day for our leaders that things will be okay here and around the world, because the leaders around the world need prayer because they're not thinking properly. We want to see a cessation to the wars and the pestilence that's going on in some areas of the world today. So God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to leave comments and let us know what your thinking is from time to time. It helps me with the programming. And don't forget to ring the bell, hit the like, and subscribe if you haven't. We have a lot of subscribers here, and we welcome anybody that would like to subscribe to the channel. God bless you all. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for more of a fun outlook at what's taking place in and around your world today. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.